All right.
So, all right, and we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Manny's podcast series. Today, I have the wonderful and great YinYangSara. And I had her before, but if you guys are new to this, and I'm sorry, I do that every time. This is why I need someone to be doing this for me. Need a hire assistant. So, anyway, welcome, Sarah. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll keep going from there. And yeah, let's do a little intro, and then I'll bring in today's topic. So go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, Manny, first off, for having me again. I love being on your podcast stream show. I love this. It's so much fun. Yeah, I'm just a 29-year-old, born and raised in Las Vegas, paranormal investigator, mother of 2 beautiful children, and jack of all trades, master of none, and also a YouTuber that I share my paranormal stories. I share painting techniques and everything as well. Yeah, I just dabble in a bunch of all kinds of different things, and nothing really scares me. So I always say, try something new.
This is true. Kind of like me. I went on my ghost tour adventure, which was super fun. Do you want me to share that before we jump into serious conversation?
Yeah, because I've been dying to hear about it.
All right. So as soon as I got there, I didn't know who, because they said they meet 15 minutes before 8 o'clock, so 7:45. So I was just waiting. I didn't see anyone. Opened my kombucha, started drinking that. My friend had to go in the restaurant, so I ended up. I saw this one girl, and I said, like, "Hey, would you happen to be part of the American Ghost Adventure stuff?" And she said, "Yeah." So her name was Brooke. My guides were tour guides was named Brooke, and Melanie, or Maya, I think is what she likes to be called. So,
okay.
So once 8 o'clock, I mean, it was a good group. It was about 11 people. Me and my friend Troy, and then the rest did a little bit of introduction for some people. Some people didn't really talk. So I guess it's like a hit and miss with people. Sometimes like people want to network, and people, I guess some people don't. Maybe I'm used to networking. So anyway, as we start coming, like I guess start walking towards our so it was a lot of different places. It was a lot of information, and I still haven't got to process all of that.
Yeah, how long was it?
2 hours.
Wow.
It was a lot of detail. Yeah. She didn't want me to film, so it was like, I mean, if I filmed, maybe my camera would probably last a good hour if I didn't have another battery. But it was a lot of details. But I think the other thing that they do, the 4 hour, for $400, I think it was the different places that we heard about, and they actually go and investigate in those places. Like one of them was like a train station, because there's obviously a lot of history about Orlando and how it got its name, and I'm trying to remember all of that.
It's a lot of information to be like thrown at you for a consistent 2 hours, and
it almost blew up my brain. It was like too much.
I was just on a ghost tour in Seattle for an hour and a half, and I barely remember the name of one of the most haunted locations that they were all like, "This is dangerous, don't go in there." And I'm just like, who do I talk to spend the night?
I know you would. There was one area. It was an alley. Trying to go back in my head on this. It was a lot of sadness. Like a lot of the history was like a lot of people were like dying and killing, like suicides, and some like the sadness and like kids dying, and it's like, oh my god.
Wow.
It was pretty sad. Like when she was telling me the story, or I'm sharing the story and stuff, like I felt the sadness, and it made me sad. And it was like, oh wow. Because me, I'm a sab. I'm empathic, so I can't control that.
Yeah, no, I feel you there.
That was probably like the darkest thing, but everything else was like pretty cool. There's a guy named Eddie Cool. It was at one spot. It was like a bar, and we went like in the VIP room. I guess they've been doing investigations there, and I guess they got in some. I guess the guy tends to like hide the light bulbs and stuff like that, and I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. Like, how does a light bulb disappear and end up like in the bottom of? They said one time they found the light bulb in the bottom of the ice chest. Like, how's that possible?
Oh,
Like,
I want to test this.
yeah, that's really interesting. Like the light would disappear or the light would move. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that it's very interesting how that works. How
That's
that other
new.
realm works. Like, I guess they had to use so much force. I would assume it's so much force that they could move the objects, but I don't know. Isn't that crazy though?
Super crazy. I mean, very specific to light bulbs. I mean, I wonder why something like light bulbs. That's interesting and very fascinating, and something I would definitely be like, let's try it. Let's see.
Yeah, my friend Troy was asking him because I guess he liked ice cream, or I don't know, he opened the ice cream shop. See, I can't remember now, so that's why in a way I would have to go back
It's okay. It's
just to take notes because I mean, it was pretty cool, but I think the most for me, the most thing that got me super excited was when we were actually doing the investigation at the same place we started at upstairs. It was like an old hotel. I know I'm using my hands because I'm trying to picture it back in my head. So we had to
Yeah.
go upstairs, and you can tell it was like really old building, and it was back in the 1800s, like close to 1900s. So like I know for me, this there was a hallway. Because the way it worked, like we were going through the back. Because in the back is their every room where they don't have like their own space, so they just have a room where they have all their equipment and shirts and stuff like that. But anyway, we had to go down this hallway. It was pitch black, but my eyes adjusted already because I could see the other doors and stuff because it's a hallway. So
Yeah.
my friend he wanted to go with me because I think he was afraid either that I would bump into something or maybe he was afraid, but I don't know. I wouldn't know. I didn't ask him. So anyway, as I'm walking down the hallway, I felt it right away. I felt like I said like whoa, because it felt like it was either the heat or something, but I definitely started feeling dizzy in my head because I had a light headache throughout the tour and stuff. It definitely got like worse, like tingly and stuff like that. So as I'm walking, I felt something, and I definitely felt like unbalanced, like something was making me like lose my balance and stuff like that as I'm walking all the way down to the hallway. But I definitely felt it.
Yeah.
And then as we all are moving along and going to like the very little last spot where they were talking about how it was like a lobby, you know how the lobby is in a hotel where people could talk and mingle and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Like a little
anyway,
common area.
I guess there's been kids, like kid spirits there, and sometimes they bring candy there to try to like communicate with the kids. So they left like my room. They left the door a little bit cracked, just like this much,
Mm.
and I heard it, but I didn't know. So we as the guy that's talking and stuff like that, you just hear the door like bam and it slammed, and the girl got like scared, and it's like oh. And we knew
Wow.
that someone was trying to spirit was trying to communicate with us. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
I'm actually getting goosebumps too. I'm just like, oh my God, that sounds fascinating.
I know. So as soon as that happened, I drew myself like I wanted to go there with the EMF meter because my friend bumped into me. So I dropped my spirit box. And the batteries came out. And it was like I didn't know how to put it back, the batteries in the right way because it was in the dark. So I couldn't
Yeah.
So anyway, I took my EMF meter, but I kept on feeling drawn over there too. Anyway, and I guess that's where some of the spirits would, I guess in a way, they activity in that spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the corner where that door was. So I moved towards that way because I wanted to, in a way, feel the presence of it, or I was trying to get like I guess in a way connect to it, like whatever it was there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing was there was a room in that same area, and they told us whoever wants to open it, check it out. So I said I will. So I tried to open the door, and the door, I kid you not, like the door felt heavy, like something was trying to kick me out. And one of the tour guides says like that's probably been like the second time that's happened, because the first time it happened to her by herself, and then on our tour that happened too. So it was
So
kind
that is
of.
actually really interesting because that would happen at the museum when I worked there. and it was only the Dybbuk box room, the door that would go out to the hallway.
Yeah.
Everybody always talked about how they would go to open it and it felt like somebody was on the other side holding the door handle, like, haha, you're not getting out.
Like a force, right? Like a
Yeah.
heaviness towards the door, like a push.
Yeah. And it was like even hard to turn the handle. And I didn't experience that for quite a while. And I was just like, guys, it's probably the door is just swollen from humidity or whatever. And so it's
that's a possibility too.
Yeah. But then it happened to me during a tour one time. I grabbed the handle and because I was just like, because I had a lot of experiences in that room. So I would tell people like, I don't like to stay in here for very long because it really starts affecting me. So I'm going to go out into the hallway. You could either stay in here for a minute or you can go ahead and join me out in the hall. So I went to open up the door and it was like the handle was stuck. And I was just like,
You were I would too if I can't get it.
So like I went to pull it again and it still wouldn't move. And I was just like, you're letting go now. And like everybody was looking at me. And then all of a sudden I opened up the door and I was just like, I'll be out in the hall.
Did you start right away? Did you start like getting in the panic mode? Like I can get out of the room. Like, oh crap, what we're gonna do?
No, actually for me, it was just more of like, you might think this is funny, but it's not. Just let go of the freaking door handle.
And you would probably want to fight it and kick it.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, not with me. Not today. Not in this room. So let me go.
Not today.
Because then that's just where my motherly authoritative figure just kind of comes in of like, 1, 2, okay.
That's pretty tense. Was everyone else scared? Did they feel scared? Because I know most people go in there and they're probably scared of those things, but it beats off the fear. So
I don't think it's so much I mean, there were people that got scared. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people would get really, really scared. But for the most part, a lot of people like you could tell that they were just kind of like on edge, like they were just nervous and just kind of like on like a high alert kind of mode.
Yeah.
And so like when things like that would happen, they would always ask me, they're like, so what was that all about? And I would tell them, I'd just be like, well, it's the haunted museum. There are a lot of haunted objects here. Things happen.
True.
And they're just like, oh, well, I don't necessarily believe that. And I'm just like, well, look, I'm a paranormal investigator of over 10 years. And I can tell you that, yeah, things happen here. And I'm not a paranormal investigator that calls everything a ghost. I want it to prove to me that it is a ghost. And so then they're all like, oh, okay, well, then you're pretty cool.
That's funny. But yeah, I know. I just was, I don't know, all around like that whole night, the 2 hours, I didn't want it to end. It was like, no, like it's over already. Like, dang, like I want more.
Yeah, because it's so long and you're retaining so much information or trying to.
Yeah, it was a lot. I remember the train station. I remember there was a story named Gordon, and it was like a gentleman's club, but not that gentleman's club.
Yeah, yeah. Like almost like a cigar.
Yeah, like in London, that type of stuff. Like,
yeah.
Like, you ever seen, what's the name of that movie? It's, no, it's gone. I don't know. No. There's a movie where like, it's like two guys, but it's like, it's action, but they're like British and stuff. I can't think of the name of the movie, but I'm sure you have heard of it. I just can't. I'll have to maybe make a note on here if I remember the name of the movie. But I've seen it. I've seen like the second one and the first one. Can't think of it. Wow.
Are you talking about Sherlock Holmes?
No, that's a great movie though too. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh yes, I love
Robert Downey Jr. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. I just haven't watched it for a while. So.
Oh yeah, I actually have a copy of both the first Sherlock Holmes and then Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows.
Yes.
I love them both. Every time I watch it, I catch something that I didn't catch before. And the BBC series too with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I never got to. I never started it or watched it. I know about it.
It's so good. You gotta watch it. I've watched the entire series like at least 5 times.
Ooh, that's a lot. I used to watch Doctor Who a lot though.
Oh, it's so good. It's oh god, it's Yeah, it's just great. Just definitely watch it when you get a chance because each episode is like a mini movie, so it does take a long time.
Oh, kind of like Shane Dawson.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
It's like conspiracy
it's
theories.
really well made. It's really great, and Benedict Cumberbatch is just a brilliant Sherlock Holmes. And what's his name? Martin Freeman, who is Watson. I think his name. But yeah, he's a brilliant Dr. Watson. Um, Everything about it is just brilliant and so well put together. And I would watch it just incessantly when I back when I was making Harry Potter wands out of clay. Like I would just sit here at my desk, just rolling out the clay and just watching it and just being like, "Oh, hee, I know this part."
Oh my god, you are silly. Kingsman.
Oh, Kingsman, yes.
The
Oh, I
Golden
love
Circle.
that. Yeah.
Those are the movies that it made me think of Kingsman.
Yeah, Kingsman is a great
Yeah,
movie. Yeah,
above the second one's, I don't know, kind of brutal.
it was, but it was so good.
Oh no, I know. I remember. I never owned it, but I remember. I watched both of them. That's what it was. Kingsman movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name. I just typed golden movies and then I found that. And I remember it had to do with something with gold. I don't know. I couldn't. Well, it was called the Golden Circle, so I was trying to remember in my head. Yes, but Kingsman. So I remember that there was a story about a woman with a white dress. There was there was one location where apparently there's a vortex in the corner. See, I'm trying to vision this, man, in my head. I could see it. It's just trying to describe it to you what I was seeing myself, but I think the end, like towards the end, the mini investigation and capturing that evidence. See, someone should have been filming so we could record, like someone was like filming, seeing the door slam. That would have been great evidence.
That would have been.
And no one was in the hall or anything. They even checked, the tour guides checked and stuff. But overall, it was really good. One of the tour guides, Melanie, because I don't know how to say her nickname, but she I mentioned I was an empath, like and then she told me she was an empath, and she told me I'm like one of them, I guess, in a way, because I was feeling the dizziness and the headaches. I might have been the only one in that group that was getting all those feelings and stuff.
Yeah, you're definitely sensitive.
Yeah, so that could be a good and bad thing.
It very could be, yeah.
Just have to learn to protect and make sure if I'm sensing a lot of negative energy or negative people, try to get away from them. So
yeah.
But no, I definitely want to go to Gatesburg. What's that? Philadelphia? Is it Gettysburg? Is that in Philadelphia, or where is it? Where's
Gettysburg? Yeah, I believe that's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, they're doing a 3-day trip. And it's all paranormal investigators. So I mean, and there's also like a retired cop, a retired FBI agent. This was with the lady. Her name is Ting, because that's part of the investigation group. So I'm thinking about doing that. I mean, 3 days. I could. They said.
Oh, you said that one's in November, right?
Yeah, she said between 100 to 250 for everything, though. It's everything.
Oh,
I mean, in other words, food, hotel. It's got to be everything. So.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll bring my own gear. I'll bring my camera and my LED light and my spirit box and my audio recorders and K2 meters. That's all I have right now. I don't have a lot of gear.
Oh, you have more than I do. I have 2 flashlights, an EMF meter, and a temperature gun.
You don't have no audio recorder, or you use your phone?
I did have an audio recorder. I have it right here. Actually, I'll show you. It's a very, very old model now. It's just totally just obsolete.
I mine too, though. I bought mine not too long ago from Walmart.
Yeah, this is an old Olympus model.
I might have that.
Yeah, it's so old. I can't. It downloads onto my computer as a WMA file, and trying to find programs that convert WMA to MP3 is next to impossible for me.
Oh, really?
So, because I've even consulted friends and everything, and they're just like, well, I thought you could convert it using this program, but I guess you can't. And I'm just like, yeah, thanks. That did me no good. And so, like, I lost a lot of files that I had on here.
Oh, that sucks.
Years. Yeah.
I never get evidence with my audio recorder, but with the spirit box, it feels like I'm getting more evidence in that.
I think audio recorders are just hard because you have to like wear like really soundproof headphones and everything, and you just have to like listen every little detail, and it's just like maybe you'll catch something, maybe you're hearing somebody sniffing their nose, maybe it's an actual thing, and it's just like crap, like I don't know, and you can't even fast forward through it either. You have to listen to every single second of it.
See, Zach is lucky. He got the original Panasonic DR60.
That sounds expensive.
Well, no, back then it wasn't. Now it is because everyone is trying to, I saw it one time because I really wanted it. They were trying to sell it for like $1,000. It's like, I'm good. It's not worth that much for me. $1,000 is not worth it for something that's been old and made in probably in the well, not 1800s, like in the 1990 or 1984, around that time. So
yeah, it's like, I mean, okay, if
keep talking. I'm gonna actually see if I could find it if they're still selling it.
yeah,
eBay
like,
usually sells it. eBay.
for something to be $1,000 that's an audio recorder, I'm sorry. First off, it should be plated in gold, and it should like have its own Wi-Fi that it comes with, and all these other gizgatchies, and pays my bills for me.
Yeah, PR60. Yeah. eBay. Someone right now is trying to sell it for $2,600. No, like $2,000.
What is wrong with people?
Everything. They want to make money. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? You can't not see that. Okay. I'll screenshot it and send it to you, but that's ridiculous.
You can send me a screenshot through Messenger.
Yeah, this is QR. Yeah, $2,000.
Jesus.
No.
Right. So that needs
even
to
if I had the money,
it needs to walk my dogs.
Huh?
It needs to pay my bills for me.
That's crazy though. $2,000 for that?
$2,000. It's like at least it should do my laundry.
Probably. You might as well get a robot. The robot's more intelligent,
right?
Than the audio recorder.
Like $2,000 for a freaking audio recorder. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Zach is lucky. The other guy, what's his name? Something Puff, Paranormal Puff. What's his name?
Oh,
he does like this. Who?
Steve Huff.
Yeah, it's him. He had one of those, but he makes his own stuff now. So it's like, okay, whatever.
I used to like him, and I really admired his equipment and everything, but I was watching one of his sessions with his machine, and he just kind of, to me, he just kind of went off the deep end with it, and I was just like, yeah, you lost me. Nope, I'm out.
Apparently something he like, I guess he was getting what, I'm not talking bad about him. I know you're not either. I know for a while he was really, I guess, getting a lot of spirits and then a lot of dark activities, and that he had like stopped doing it. And then the last I heard, he's now he's like meditating and only trying to bring like positive and light energies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he exposed himself to a lot with those pieces of equipment, and what I don't think what a lot of paranormal investigators seem to forget, especially after being in the field for so many years, it seems, that they tend to forget that they need to cleanse and protect themselves still. It's like, just because you have these years of experience doesn't mean that you don't need protection, that you don't need to cleanse and do burning sage or have holy water or things like that. It's like, no, you still need to, regardless of how many years.
I heard Aaron one time said it on his podcast that he stopped doing. And like he said that he stops saging and stuff. Like he'll just go home and like deal whatever it's there. But in my head it was like, I don't know if that's a good thing. I think you should always sage and protect yourself. Like even Billy, it seems like he gets affected a lot, and it seems like he's always like trying to cleanse himself and stuff like that.
I actually have a gift certificate that I'm supposed to do. I got it for Secret Santa, the first Christmas at the museum. And it's a spiritual cleanse by Billy's wife. Oh. She has a thing here in town where she does, like, I think it's a Reiki thing. I need to do that. I need to actually like do that because I need one terribly.
You
But
need
I
a
also
vacation.
I
You need
do.
a
I'm
vacation.
not gonna argue with that.
You need to go chill in Seattle and do some stuff.
I'm leaving Wednesday.
Huh? You're leaving?
Yeah, I'm going up there Wednesday to help my boyfriend finish moving into his new place.
Oh, that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. A little mini vacation.
Mini. But I mean, also my birthday is coming up and it's the big dirty 30. So
When's your birthday? I don't think you ever told me.
it's March 14th, Pi Day.
Yes, you did. You did. Sorry.
3.14.
That's soon. Dang. Your birthday's 14. My sister's 16, and I'm 26. And my boss, I think, is around that time too. He's an Aries.
My friend Rob's birthday is on the 7th, and then his daughter's is on the 11th. And
babies all the way.
yeah, it's so funny. Like,
well, you're Pisces, but I'm Aries, but we're still babies.
Yeah, and my nephews, they were born on the 19th. So they're
busy
twins.
month for March. Oh yeah, we also have March Madness for sports basketball.
Oh my god, yeah,
that would be Aaron. Aaron Goodwin. I saw him the other day on his Instagram. He'd be posting basketball games, so I know he'll be all about the March Madness.
Oh, when I was a kid, it was awful because my family was terribly into sports because of my older brothers, and so my entire birthday, week or whatever, like even the days before my birthday, it was all like basketball and this and that and this sport and that sport. And I'm just like, can I watch what I want to watch? It is my birthday week. Like, come on, guys.
All right, Sarah, so I know, are you ready to get to business and get a little bit more serious with me?
I'm so excited for this.
Are you really? I'm sure you are, though. I'll let you. I mean, I'll introduce it, and then I guess we could feed on each other our communication. Okay. So anyway, guys, so now we're gonna get a little bit serious. So I picked up this book. Why I used to be a miserable F. But anyway, I picked it up because there's 66 tips on redefining what a man is. The author's name, if you guys are interested, his name is John Kim, the Angry Therapist. He's a licensed life coach. Also, he's a therapist, obviously. And he wrote this book out for men because, as you know, the generations that we're living now, and the things I have seen and growing up, that men are not really stepping up to the game. And when I mean the game, like in relationships and leadership and roles and different things like that. I'm not saying all men are not doing that, but some are. But it's like for us, like even for myself, as I'm learning to redefine who I am, learning to redefine what a man is, I'm learning to just trying to understand people in general, learning to love hard. One of the tips in the book is called "Don't Hide," and for that one kind of spoke a little bit more for me, because not that I have hid myself and stuff like that, but in my past relationships, I had trying to explain this. Had a hard time opening up because I grew up in a world of like, men don't kiss men don't hug, men don't like really show emotion, men don't cry. I had this all in my imprint, in my mind and stuff like that. So it took me a while, took me a couple of years. Like I guess going through my separation and divorce, it has taught me some of those lessons, like especially dealing with my relationship. It's our job. Like we especially if we're dating or getting into the dating game and all that, or even in our marriage, or having a spouse. As men, we need to open up to our spouses. We need to be emotional, like to share our feelings and stuff. I'm not saying like to be unstable, because you obviously you guys want us to be stable. You want us to be strong, to be a warrior, to be tough, but also have our emotional side, where like if you're crying, I'm weeping with you, but we're working together and we're trying to figure out stuff like that. So for me, it's a really strong, it's a topic that needs to be talked about, because some of my own life coaching or lessons, I would say life lessons, I always try to communicate with my audience, and especially with men, that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to share your if you need to cry. I guess those things are not bad things. That's what makes you a human. That makes you in a way in a man, because you're learning to deal with your emotions and your feelings. And I think it's also good to like practice, meditation, and practice learning to having thoughts in your head, like, come in and come out of your mind and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's how I feel, and that's what I'm learning. And I think the book is very helpful, and I think you guys should go pick it up. He has the audio, he has a physical copy, so you could get it also. I think ebooks and stuff like that. So for men, it's not just for men; it's also for women too, because it also is showing for women the other side for us, like under like. For women, it's good. It's good for you guys, because then it's showing you what you want in a man, what you want a man to act or behave and stuff like that. Like, another thing I love is men walking with mirrors. I think it's important for us to always be reflecting and always be self-aware of my surroundings, be self-aware of my conversations with people. So I try to practice, being a man that walks with mirrors. Besides, like, don't hide. And then the other one, I was going to say the other one. Learning to respond then to react. Like, men respond, pretty much boys react. And that's something that pretty much like the compulsive behavior, like when temper tantrums for men, in other words, like learning to fight without fighting, learning to, like, okay, if you get into a confrontation with someone, and you're getting into like an argument, learning to like controlling those feelings and control those emotions by hearing them out and stuff. So go ahead, Sarah. I guess go ahead and share share what you're feeling and hearing and stuff like that.
Well, like you were saying with the whole like men to walk with mirrors, like I really think that like it's not just men alone. Like women have a feminine toxicity that can also be very detrimental to society and just people around them as well. And so like a lot of men tend to take attack whenever it's brought up of the subject of just men. And it's always like, oh, well, us men, we're just fine, we're just doing manly things and da 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 da. It's like it's not just you, it's just this is just what we're talking about as a society now. I mean, there is feminine toxicity as well. Like a lot of people tend to say like feminazis, the feminists that are extremists and everything, and they're just very much like no men whatsoever. And it's just like no. We all need to work together in harmony and peace. And it's not hard for us to figure each other out. I mean, for crying out loud, it's the 21st century, It's like we've seen all of like Freud, like a legendary therapist that just totally broke down like how women are and how men are and how women have penis envy and everything. And it's like, I think in a sense, Freud was on a right path, but I don't think he was at that conclusion that he should have came out with the whole penis envy thing. It's not that women have penis envy. It's that women have that kind of authoritative envy. Men are just naturally like bigger and stronger and louder and more boisterous than women. And that's also goes down into our upbringing, where women are told, shush, shush, speak quietly, and just smile pretty. And boys are taught, oh, well, boys will be boys. Go do whatever. Break your arms, hurt each other, whatever. Boys will be boys. It is what it is. And women are just told, no, you need to sit pretty and be quiet and smile. And this is where it's not who we are today that's the problem. It's the problem of what we've been taught before that's still being taught today that needs to stop. It's a vicious cycle of going through this whole thing. I mean, just, look in the early 1900s when women were doing the march for women just to have voting rights. And, it's something that a lot of people don't see, that it's a cycle, just like with fashion and trends. We're coming back to everybody wanting to do 90s style and 80s style and everything. And it's like, it's just the same thing when it comes to societal issues. Like we're going back into this cycle where women are having the Me Too movement and Time's Up and things like that. And men are taking it as an attack on who they are as men and their masculinity. And it's like, you're not going to turn me feminine. It's like, first off, masculinity should never be that fragile. That lipstick, nail polish, a dress, glitter, that all of that is just detrimental to you. It's like, it should never be that fragile.
Yeah.
Never. And it's like, and this is something that a lot of men are just so afraid of. They're like, you're not going to make me soft because I'm not going to turn into a woman. It's like, nobody wants to turn anybody into a woman. If you want to turn yourself into a woman, that's on you.
That's on you, right?
Yeah. So it's like I see it in my own family. Like, my dad was born in the 50s, early 50s. And it's something that I've gone into an argument with him before, where he's just like, oh, I'm so thankful that in the generation that I grew up in, I'm very open-minded and progressive. And I'm just like, first off, with you announcing that shows that you're not. And second off, he always like he'll go up to my mom and be like, what's for dinner? And she's like, well, I haven't decided yet. And he's like, well, I'm hungry now. Fine, I'll make myself something. And I'm just like, you know, congratulations. You know how to cook. You know how to feed yourself. You're a big boy. Do it. And that's really just little things like that. Men tend to look over because they're like, well, that's just how it is. Why? You know, why does it have to be that way? Why can't it be equality when it comes to relationships and when it just comes to how men treat themselves? And it's something I've even noticed quite recently, that there's always this talk about how women fall into peer pressure because of, you know, magazines and standards of Hollywood and body type and everything. Men actually are just as easily to succumb to peer pressure as any other gender, any other race. Just men, as soon as like they hear, what are you, a pussy? All of a sudden, everything that they're doing, if they're just taking care of their woman or they're taking care of their child, you know, all of a sudden it clicks and they're like, no, I'm not a pussy. No, man.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. So it's like, we need to stop thinking about what other people care about us, regardless of gender, regardless of race. And we just need to, like you said, like, walk with mirrors. Yeah, walk with mirrors. Look at yourself. Are you really proud of yourself? Are you living to the best example for the next generation? Like, it's not about you. It's always about the future. I mean, like, so many people are just like, oh, no, it's about us. It's about us. Like, generation, you know, the millennials, and then generation Z and XYLMNOP, you know, I don't care. It's like, it's just about doing what's best for the next generation, learning from our mistakes and not doing them again. And that's something that I think we failed at, is that we're making the same mistakes.
I was going to jump when you mentioned that. That's one of the tips in the book too, for you guys who are joining. We're discussing a book, but then also, we're discussing also about relationships and life and men and women and men. How for men, I see more and more women, female leaders, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. So let me let you guys know and correct yourselves. Like, you know, it's not a bad thing that women are stepping up, but the women are stepping up also because men are not stepping up, and men are like not, like, in a way, I don't know how to explain this. Pretty much like for men, like, you know, we have leadership roles, and it's just part of that sort, I guess, in a way, circle. Sarah, you can always correct me if I'm off. But pretty much, like, you know, as men, like, especially if we're in relationships, I mean, like you said, for men, it's naturally for us to lead and stuff, or be, you know, those role leaders and stuff like that. But that's the problem. A lot of men are not being men, or and when I say not being men, it's like not making decisions, you know, always depending on the woman. Pretty much, some men have become codependent on women, and, you know, they want the women to do everything, either cook for them or clean for them, or, you know, make decisions what church to go to or not, or whatever religion and stuff like that, or taking care of the kids or whatever. And that's the problem, that, you know, some of these decisions, like, for men to do as a leader, is our role. It's our job to do those things, not for the women to do everything. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. And that's what I'm sharing. Oh, when you mentioned about taking ownership of mistakes, that's the thing. A lot of men don't take ownerships in their mistakes. Like, for me, I have shared this a lot in my videos and stuff. Like, I made a lot of mistakes in my marriage. things I'm not, proud of, but it wasn't like devastating. This, but I'm saying like, I wish I was more of a leader financially or spiritually and stuff like that. But I was new to that whole world because being married is a different ball game, obviously, than than just dating and stuff like that. And it's a lot more pressure. But like for me, I take ownership of my mistakes. I wish I did a better job as a man, as a leader, leading her, but I learned from those things, and then for the future, when whoever comes back or whoever comes in my life, I'll be more equipped. I'll be more aware of things and be more better prepared. And if I make mistakes, own it up, say, hey, I'm sorry, I made this mistake. Maybe I need to go get some help. That's why I always talk about it. I always mention it up. Like if you need help, it's okay to have talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor, talk to a life coach. These things are important, especially for men, because if we're not going to be opening up to our spouse or our girlfriend, to whatever, then we need to open up to someone that we can start processing all these things about us. And so we can start working on ourselves. And
yeah, and I think the biggest thing with most men too is that they look at as asking for help makes you weak. And
right. I have heard that
a lot of people,
times.
Yeah, a lot of people with depression too, they feel the same way. They're like, no, I can't ask for help because that means I've given up or this and that, the other. And it's like, no, you don't have to wait until you get to that rock bottom stage in your life to ask for help. You never have to wait for that point. It's just any point in time you feel lost or you're just sitting there going, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not seeing the bigger picture? Just in anything that you're doing in life, whether it be work or relationships or just even your family relationships, it's always healthy to look at it from an outside perspective and say, you know what? I should talk to somebody professional about this just to get some insight, just to get some perspective, and just to be able to gain that insight of what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Or am I doing something right? And having that professional confirmation too really, really helps too, as far as like, okay, I'm on the right path in life and I'm doing good and I'm not messing up or anything,
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to think what else. Like, so like, I don't know. Do you want to, I guess, share some of your experiences of relationships, or you want me to start with some of mine? Like, I guess I'll start, and maybe that'll help too for you. I mean, I have dated a few times, but I guess for me, it's always been like learning. For me, it's just, I guess, me better understanding myself, learning to continue to grow and learn to be an independent person, not relying on the opposite sex to do things for me or anything like that. And I think those were some of the lessons. Because it's not funny, but like I was gonna say, it's funny in the beginning, like before I met my last relationship, my ex and stuff like that. I was very independent, and then somehow it shifted. But also, I don't know, it shifted also because it was a new area. So like because I used to live in Georgia and stuff like that. So everything was new. Everything was new territory. And like, she knew the place, she knew the location. So like for me, it was like I was dependent on her on like helping me know the areas and stuff like that. But also like in a marriage, also like, if I'm doing a lot of work, then I would, I would assume that she would help me like do chores and stuff in the house and stuff like that. And I'm not bashing her, but I just felt like sometimes I wish she did help me at times, and instead of me doing all the work. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, relationships are always a partnership. I mean, it takes two to tango, as they say. It's if you're not helping your spouse adjust and just feel more comfortable with themselves, and especially if you move them to a new area or whatever,
new state, different state.
Yeah, you help them out and you ask them like, hey, are you having any troubles learning the area? Are you having any troubles meeting new people? Like, whatever it may be, like, it's just ask. Like, they're your partner for a reason. Like, they're supposed to be like your best friend, as well as somebody who is like another part of you. So it's like if you were down in the dumps and you were lost and needing help and guidance, you would expect out of them to do the same for you. So you
it kind of happened, kind of not. I mean, we never got into those type of serious conversations of that, like, because I think most of like in the beginning of my marriage, I was super happy. I was excited. It was new. I was on cloud nine. I loved her. I mean, it's hard. In a way, I still love her, but I have moved
Yeah.
on. That she is doing her own thing. I'm doing my own thing, and I'm working on myself now and focusing on learning to love myself better, learning to continue to be the independent person I need to be, trying to take care of like my dreams, my goals, my passions, things like that. What I was trying to get is like at that time with her, especially we were new to the marriage, we had people. And because I wanted to please her so much, I allowed have she had friends and they needed help. It was like it was a mother and a son, and we had them there. But then we had like too many animals there, and it just I don't know. I know at the time like I just would come home and like I just felt how you're tired because you're working all day, and then you see a mess in the house, and it's like I don't know. It was just a lot of too much stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
made me like it made me bitter. It made me like sad, or I don't know if I was sad. I think I just was unhappy. I was unhappy, and
Yeah.
maybe I should have said no. I didn't see. In a way, I made the mistakes of not setting up boundaries and things that are negotiable and non-negotiables. If I knew what I wanted in that sense, if she would ask me, "Hey, we want friends here," I should have said no, because we got to work on our marriage. We got to work on us. I'm sorry that we can't help them. I didn't do that because I wanted to please her. I said yes, and then when the situation was rolling and things happening, it was like a chaotic, like a snowball effect, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's something that a lot of people that are empathic that they struggle with, is that naturally people who are empathic, they're people pleasers. And
Lord,
so yeah, because it's like you feel what they're feeling, and so you want to make them feel good.
want
You
them to
want
be
to,
happy, yeah.
yeah, so it's like it's like you want to do whatever makes them happy instead of putting your own happiness forward, and we tend to get lost in that. And that's something that took me a long time to understand as well, that I always put myself on
On
what
hold.
one of my exes that I'm still friends with. He says that what I do is I martyr myself, and it's true, and it's something I've always known, but I never acknowledged it until he brought it up to me, where he was like, "You martyr yourself. You will sacrifice every ounce of energy, emotion, physical, anything of yourself just to make the other person happy, and then you're just left there miserable." And it's something that I feel like a lot of people who are empathic tend to do, is you drain yourself, just pouring yourself into this other person, and then you're just kind of left as like a shriveled up shell, and they're just like, "Okay, thanks for that, bye." And it's a matter of seeing the people that do that they're all like, "Oh, thanks for cheering me up, now I'm going to leave you to your misery," versus the people that sit back and go, "You've done so much for me, now it's my turn, let me help you back up." And that's where we need to see that value in ourselves to be able to stand up and say, "I need my recharge, I need that focus now." you know it's hard to, though. It's hard to be like, "Focus on me now," because I know, I'm sure you're like me, Manny, where I hate being the center of attention.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
well, sometimes with YouTube it's a little bit harder because you kind of like are the center of attention if you're making videos and stuff. But I know what you're saying though. Yeah, I definitely like for me, putting all my energy and effort to someone and then not feeling appreciative and like it then really sucks because
yeah,
rejection is something not easy. But that's what I'm learning. Like as I'm single now and on purpose, I'm learning to first take care of me and my needs and the things I need to take care of myself. So then when someone comes along, I'm not clingy, I'm not codependent on them. We're just two independent people working together on the same goal and moving forward to that where we need to go in our life and journey.
absolutely.
So it's a lot of work, but that's the thing. Well, are people or men or women are they willing to do the work on themselves to better themselves, or are they just going to just go with the flow of everyday life of working all the time, no vacations, and not really reflecting on themselves? That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, men and women, like, we both share our own insecurities and our own social awkwardness and everything when it comes to like, where do we fit in? What do we do? And, you know, how are we on the scale of society? Like, are we up there where we're good looking and we can do no wrong? Or are we down here where we have to struggle and fight for every attention, every look in our direction, you know? And like with men, it's mostly strictly, for most men, not all especially, but for most men, it's very physical. Like it's very like they look at these advertisements for men on like magazines for something as stupid as perfume or a watch, and they got a shirtless guy with like an 8-pack and like these like ridiculously hard looking pecs, and they're just like, you know, then they look at themselves and they're like, I could never come up to that kind of body standard. And women have that similarity of seeing that same thing, being like, I can't have like an 18-inch waist and a freaking like double F size breasts and a big booty. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
know what you're
realistic. And so it's like we have those similarities, but then we have the differences. And the differences is women are expected to be incredibly maternal and incredibly like the homemaker and, you know, the home keeper and just, you know, making sure the house is clean and tidy, the nesting and everything. Women have that expectations on themselves as well as society does. And then you have the men who is to be the provider, the hunter, the gatherer,
Right.
you know, the protector of the home. And, you know, they have that natural, we all have those natural instincts within us. But then when it comes down to it, when we really look at everything on a real level, there are men that love to clean and cook. And there are a lot of men out there that are really good at cooking and really good at cleaning and really good at keeping the home nice and safe. And then you have women who are incredibly strong, amazing business women who are incredibly independent and very strong too, physically as well as mentally. And just like, and so it's like, we don't have to have these standards that we still, for some reason, keep having in our society. And I think, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with TV, mostly.
Brainwashing. In a way.
I haven't watched TV in years, and there was the one time I did turn on the TV recently was because I was watching The Masked Singer. Great show.
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, it's so great. It's so awesome. I love it. But anyway, there was a commercial that came on. I can't remember what it was for or anything, but it was a very like typical like old school way of looking at families, and like the mom was already home doing the dishes and the kids were like, you know, the girl was in the dress and the boy was in his pants, and then the father came home and he was wearing a suit and had a briefcase, and I was just like, it's those subtleties. That's a submissive or subliminal message that is like, no, this is the way that things are supposed to be. If you are to be successful, you are to do this. And it's those subliminal messages that go into our subconscious that help remind us, you're a woman, you need to cook and clean and do all this stuff. You're a guy, you need to be masculine and this and that,
Hunting
and
and
drink
working,
beer and
sweating.
party and work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was another commercial where again, I can't remember what it was for. I think it was for a tablet or something, but it was this family on vacation, and it was this wonderful interracial family that the dad was in the water about to go on some jet skis, and the mom was there, you know, ready to record with a tablet, and she was just chuckling at him and everything. And I was just like, you know, more relaxed, homey commercials like that to me hit harder and make it enjoyable rather than those old school commercials that we're still seeing to this day of these subliminal things. And Campbell's did a commercial, I think it was about a year ago, with a gay couple, and the internet just lost its mind. They were all like, "Oh no, we can't have this." And it's, of course, if it were two women, I can guarantee you they would have not had the huge amount of reaction that they ended up because it was two men. And a lot of it, again, is because of the standard that society just has for men, that men are just supposed to be a certain way and no other way at all. And it's like, that's what's toxic. Telling men that they cannot be any different, telling men that they have to be the strong one physically, the provider, the beer drinker, and party with the boys, you know, TNA all day, you know, it's like that to me is what's toxic, is having these expectations that men are just supposed to be one way and no other way. And a lot of people take toxic masculinity as an attack on just men in general, and that's where we get it all wrong, in my opinion. But I really feel like just regular TV nowadays too is just, it's not progressing as much as it should, and I'm really, 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 really disappointed in seeing it. And in Hollywood as well, these movies, there's still the whole damsel in distress and the man needs to come and save her. And
are we talking about like the hero's journey, like where men like are slaying dragons, coming back to the village, chains and stuff like that? Are you talking about more of that, like the hero of the movies and stuff like that? Or are we just talking about?
Yeah, like it's like, you know, the man is supposed to go through a hard time. Men are supposed to be the tough ones, the mean ones, you know, all this stuff. And the woman is supposed to, you know, sit there and wait for her hero. And it's like, it's so old to me. It's so old.
And Disney too. Disney in a way brainwashes, like especially younger children, like the happy ever after, people get married, there's no fighting, there's no conflicts. That's like not reality.
I mean, look at Frozen. Frozen was a huge success with Disney Pixar. And doing, you know, Elsa, Queen Elsa, you know, she was supposed to, you know, find somebody to make her king for the land that they had and everything. And Anna was out to find her Prince Charming to swoop her off her feet. But at the end of it, she still fell for a guy. There was still no message there. There was still no women, you don't need a guy. It was still of like, oh no, you can have a guy. It's just he doesn't have to be Prince Charming, but you still have a guy.
I don't know.
It drives me nuts. I'm like, oh God, you were so close and yet so far.
You made me think of Xena. Xena Warrior Princess.
Yes, I loved that show.
Xena and Hercules, but Xena was a strong character.
Yes.
She was like a warrior. She was fighting. And then
she was bisexual.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I did not pay attention to those things.
I think in the comics she was straight up lesbian, but in the TV series they made her bisexual.
Did they really? I didn't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it was I remember my mom actually banned us watching Xena for a while because it got into where Xena and what was her sidekick,
the blonde chick, right? The blonde
girl.
girl.
I think Gabrielle,
Gabrielle, something like that.
Yeah, they started hooking up and everything, and my mom was like, nope, you're not watching that. And granted, it was in the 90s. It was a totally different time, and my mom had different views back then. So, like, you know, she was just very much like, nope, we're not watching that. You are not watching this. This is now banned. I mean, then again, she banned also The Simpsons. Dragon Ball Z was also banned. South Park was banned.
Well, South Park is a little tough, but but we think of some animes like they got Family Guy now, and there's some there's some harsher stuff out there. Huh?
When Family Guy came on TV, my mom banned that as well.
Oh, American Dad. There's some harsher stuff than The Simpsons. I never found The Simpsons that brutal to watch.
I think it was because of their Halloween series, their Treehouse of Horrors that they did.
I used to like those. Those were.
I love them, but my mom thought they were a little too grotesque, and so she was like, "No, you're not watching The Simpsons anymore." And I was like, "But it's blood. It's fine. We all have blood in our bodies. It's okay."
Like in Dragon Ball, they you were sharing me. It went from red to purple.
Yeah.
Like Piccolo, he got like he was getting shot by Frieza, and he was shooting beams at him, and it was like all purple and stuff.
Yeah, and in the late 90s, early 2000s, they changed the blood to black. So, like, if you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, especially, when it was on Toonami, anytime there was any blood, it was just shown up as black on the anime. And it was just like, you know, that's not dirt, and it's not oil, it's blood. It's coming out of
It's not oil. It's oil coming out of it. It's like, oh.
I'm like, what the hell, Toonami? Like, I never understood censoring blood, because to me, it's like, we all have blood in our veins. We all see blood at some point in our lives, because we'll hurt ourselves. We'll
Some
get
more
it.
than others.
We all know that blood is within us, and yet it's so highly censored. It's like, oh no, there can't be any blood. And it's like, yeah, I get it. There are people with blood triggers that, you know, it's a little traumatizing for them. But in all honesty, it's like, you're fine. You still know that there is blood within your body. There has to be, in order for you to be alive.
Right.
It's like, just accept it. Like, don't fight it, accept it.
I was gonna say also, I know we're going from like anime to relationships. I was thinking about safe containers. Something that really kind of drove me home in John Kim's one of his first books. I don't think I have it on here, do I? It's like a show, people.
I'm gonna order that and I'm gonna read the hell out of it.
You should. They're both good. Like both books are really good. And I think that's why I like him so much, because it's practical, but he's also real. This is the other book he wrote. Can you read it?
The Angry Therapist and No BS Guide to Finding and Living Your Own Truth.
Own Truth. Yeah, I like this one. This one's good, and they're both good. So, and then this one's a longer.
I love both of their titles. That is just so awesome.
Yeah, he has like always long titles, but he mentioned a lot about safe containers, and I'm bringing this up especially in relationships and dating and marriages and all that. Like sometimes, like he mentions it how we have to protect our containers in life, because sometimes they'll get cracked, and that's where sometimes, especially if the relationship is toxic, like both people are toxic, you already are ruining your safe container. Because I mean, you're a woman, you want to know like your man is taking care of you, but your man is making you feel safe. That, you know, it's a place where you can share your feelings, you can share your emotions without hiding it, without, you know, putting it in the back burner, because you feel like you have to walk on, what they call it, on eggshells and stuff like that. And safe container is something really important that in every relationship, it needs to be one there, because you know, if that container breaks, then your relationship is going in a downhill spiral. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Like, actually, it's definitely something that goes both ways. I mean, pretty much with anything, really, because like so many men, they tend to take things and they're like, I can't cry. I'll be a weak man if I cry. I'll be weak if I show that something bothered me or is hurting me. And it's something that, like, I mean, even my dad still does to this day, where he refuses to apologize when he is blatantly in the wrong. And it's something that is, again, it's not necessarily his fault. It's his parents' fault, and their parents' fault, and their parents' fault. And that's where we need to like stop this continuous like domino effect. It's like, there's nothing wrong with teaching boys to be secure with themselves, to where they can open up to people of, hey, this really hurt my feelings, and not being talked down to of like, oh, you're a pussy, suck it up. So, nothing like that.
I laugh because I've been told that, and it hasn't. That's never helped me.
Oh, you know,
it just made it worse for me.
I have been told, Sarah, suck it up, and I'm just like, you know, there is nothing wrong with crying. There is nothing wrong with feeling sadness. I will purposely, if I feel like even if I'm having a really good like run of time, whether it be like a week or a month, if I feel like at any point in time that I just need to get out some kind of emotion, I will purposely put on a movie or put on a song and let myself just have a really good cry, because it's healthy. You're venting those emotions. It's not healthy to bottle that up and to just keep it in yourself, because then you're just a ticking time bomb. And it's no wonder why, yeah, so many men especially are known to have like random outbursts and everything. And it's like, well, no wonder you're not letting yourself feel emotions. And that's just part of being human. It's not a matter of gender or race or anything, even religion. It's about just being human. Let yourself experience those human emotions, whether it be happiness, sadness, anger. Go to a gym and beat the crap out of a punching bag. You know, it's like,
It's
feel
true.
those emotions.
The outlets, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's normal. That's just part of life. We're all I saw this interview not too long ago between RuPaul and Oprah Winfrey, and it was the most amazing interview that I think I've ever seen. And RuPaul said, "We are all on this planet to have a human experience." And I completely agree with that. And so it's like we are robbing ourselves of that human experience when we force ourselves to lock down tight and not experience the basic things of being a human, which is having those emotions. You know, it's something that should be allowed and encouraged to just feel. It's okay to feel. It's not a scary thing as long as you just come out of it at the end of it, take a good deep breath, wash your face a bit, and just be like, you know what? I feel really good. I feel better now.
Yeah, like I'll mention like when I was having like a rough day. I know I mentioned this to you. I decided like, hey, I'm just gonna go grab my guitar, do some singing, do a little live stream, and it made me feel so much better. That's being able to, like, in a way, push those emotions, like letting them loose, in other words. And me, this in a way, with, because I have a very strong connection with music, and I know you know this already, but I'm sharing with people. I have a very strong connection with, I guess what you'd say, God or whatever. Some people don't believe in God and stuff like that. And for me, it's like a bonding time, but it's also, for me, I'm centering myself back to myself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's like meditation. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was known as like this medium person a long time ago. I can't remember his name, but there was only one thing that he said that I really completely agreed with, because honestly, I thought he was a total hoax. I did not like him as a medium. But one thing he said was, like, he asked the audience, he was like, how many of you here meditate? And only like a couple of hands rose. And so he was like, okay, how many of you will like really sit and like watch a movie for like the whole time that you're watching the movie? Like, you won't get up and interrupt yourself or anything. You'll sit and watch it. And a few more hands raised up. And he's like, okay, how many of you will sit down and listen to music? And more hands rose up. And he was like, okay, that's still meditating. It's just getting yourself into a place where you have this mental focus, your body is relaxed, and you just are within your own realm, whether it be through music or through watching a movie, something that gets you calm and relaxed.
Painting,
and in a happy
right?
place.
Painting,
Drawing, absolutely, carving even. You know, it's something that can be in that sense of a meditation that can really help you. Just once you're done, it's like, huh, I feel a lot better.
It's true though. Like, it doesn't have to be like sitting still. Like something John always talks. He says he rides his motorcycle out in because he's over in California and stuff like that. He says he rides his motorcycles and he gets into a trend while he's driving his motorcycle, like that meditation state of mind. So it doesn't have to be the sitting down saying and stuff like that.
Exactly.
There's different ways, and I think for me too, music is a way, like, I can, in a way, I'm in tune to my spirit in that sense. And like when I'm singing and playing, and I'm in a different realm, like I could look at the time, and an hour goes by like that, and it's like, wow, like
yeah. I mean, I grew up knowing all about meditation because of martial arts and everything, and so every now and then, especially when for me, like, my mind will get cluttered and like it'll just jump from like one subject to the next subject, and then think about this, oh, think about that, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah, it's like my mind just gets into those realms where I can't even focus on anything. Like, I'll try to paint, or I'll try to go even for a walk, and I can't. So it's like, okay, I need to just get a setting. So like, I'll light a bunch of candles in my room. I'll just get the lighting nice and quiet and everything. And I just sit there and I'll listen to some Enya, and I just let the emotions come. I let the thoughts come and go, and I just relax my mind and relax my body with it. And it gets everything to just calm down.
I'm on the phone, Dad. I'm on the phone. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, it's just something that I feel like it's really understated, the importance of meditating. It's it's really a great tool that I don't think is taught enough, especially in America.
Yeah. Trying to think. Well, I guess. What? Here we go. So, what have you been learning since you're like, you're I know you've been in some relationships and stuff. What are things that have been standing out, and what's been helping you work on like your future relationship now you're in? Like, what are you doing differently? What have you learned from the past, like mistakes and stuff like that you're bringing into this relationship that's even better and making it further, but like stronger and stuff?
Well, I grew up in a big family. I'm the youngest, and I was always told, not now, Sarah, don't talk, Sarah, shut up, Sarah, whatever. And I took that with me into when I started having relationships in my life.
Yeah.
So I rarely opened up. I rarely ever talked about anything that was on my mind, anything that ever bothered me. It took me to getting to a point where I was fed up before I talked about it at all. And I've realized over the years that that's just not a healthy way to have a relationship at all, because I can't expect my partner to be a mind reader. I got to talk, and I got to give him a chance to correct what's bothering me, and or to even care if something's bothering me.
Yeah.
And with my last relationship, it really stood out to me of seeing the difference between somebody who wants to be with me versus somebody who just wants a relationship for a relationship. And I didn't even think that that was something that could even happen. I thought, like, once you're in a relationship, like you're in that relationship to be with that person.
Right.
But there actually is this huge difference of being in a relationship for the sake of it, not because you want that person.
Oh, you mean in other words, like people get into a relationship because they don't want to be alone?
Yes, yes. That lack of just wanting to be with themselves and learn and grow as a person and just being happy with themselves. And that was something with my last relationship where I should have seen it right away. All the signs were there, but I just kept thinking,
Red flag.
if I communicate and I give him this chance, things will get better.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing that I learned, because communicating was so new to me. Like I never before opened up and said, you're doing this and it's bothering me. It's really hurting my feelings. And I just want you to, to know that either do something about it or talk to me. And I didn't realize that I had to follow through. It never even dawned on me that there was a follow through with that if they don't hold up their end, I am then to stand up for myself and say, no, either you care about me or you don't. And so that was something that took me a whole year and a half that I spent in that relationship, getting engaged and everything, and not ever feeling respected or happy that I was being heard, that I was being respected in what my concerns were, and that I needed to do something about it, because it was never going to change. It was always going to be this cycle of, you're doing it again. It's really hurting my feelings. It's really bothering me. Please stop doing this. Oh, well, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's fine.
What do you mean it's fine? He used to tell you that all the time. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, what it was, to get real personal, it doesn't matter to me because it's an old relationship now. Well, but yeah. He had this thing where he was the director and everything, and
yeah,
so he had a lot of friends that were in the porn industry. They were strippers, they were burlesque performers and everything, and that never bothered me. What bothered me was he was friends with them on Facebook and on Instagram. And of course, people in that industry, they would post pictures of themselves completely nude. And again, it's to each their own. It's their body. They can do whatever they want. But what I didn't like was that he was going out of his way to react and comment on those photos. And I was just like, look, I'm a very insecure person. And when you do this, it makes me feel like I'm being compared to their body type. And it makes me feel really bad about myself. Please don't do that. Like, it makes me hurt that I don't look like that. And he was just like, oh no, it's fine. They're just a friend. I'm just supporting them. And I'm like, your comment wasn't really supporting. It was just nasty, and I don't really appreciate that. And he was just like, okay, yeah, I'll stop. Because it first started with Instagram where that would happen. And then I started noticing he was doing the same thing, but on Facebook. And I was like,
yeah, he went from one platform to another platform.
yeah, exactly. And I was just like, did you think I wasn't going to find out? Like, because that's just totally disrespecting me. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know that I did that. And I'm like, you didn't know that you not only reacted to their photo with the heart, but you also left a comment of, wow. Like, really? Like, it's like, if you fucked up, just say, you know what? I messed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. I shouldn't have done that. That was really wrong of me. Let me delete my comment. I'm still going to leave the like on the photo, because it's already done, but it will not happen again. And that's all he had to say, and just follow through with that.
Or if he was struggling, he could have just activated his Facebook and stuff like that. If it was really.
Well, I told him I didn't want him to do that. I just wanted him to just respect me, and just be like,
that's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just be like, oh, photos like that upset my partner, and I'm not going to do that. Because like he got really jealous that I was following Markiplier on YouTube and on Instagram. He was like, you have a huge crush on Markiplier. And I was like, first off, I did. I don't anymore. I just have huge respect for the guy. And if you don't want me to like his photos, I won't like his photos. I unfollowed Markiplier right then and there, like without him even giving me an answer of whether or not he was okay with it. I was just like, this bothers my partner, and they are worth more to me than this being an issue. So I'm just going to unfollow. That's it. Done.
What would happen? I was just thinking, what would happen if you had a crush on Zach? Would he be jealous of that too?
He thought I did. He thought I did. He thought I was obsessed with Zach and everything. And I was just like, nah, you don't understand. I've
had got his spirits following him around. He don't need no girlfriend.
This man, Zach, is just...
he's something else.
He is. He really is.
He's a piece of art. I still love Zach, though. I still respect him. When we're talking about Zach Bagans, he's a paranormal investigator, Ghost Avenger, stuff like that. If people don't know who Zach Bagans is. So
owner of the Haunted Museum here in Las Vegas.
Yes, and now film director. I don't know what else Zach's going to be. I know he
producer, executive producer, director.
I know he's doing. Isn't he doing something with Charles Manson, a documentary he's working on?
Yeah, he started working on that before I lost my position there. He started working on that back then. I don't know where he's at now. He might be halfway through. He might be in post-production through editing now. I'm not 100% sure. But I do know he was really excited about it once he started getting into it.
I believe it.
Yeah, he's a fanboy for these serial killers.
I wonder when that documentary will come out. It might come out next year. I'm wondering. I don't know, because Demon House took what, 3 years that he worked on?
I believe so. Yeah, but that was also because he was also getting the Haunted Museum set up for it. So like he was going back and forth between finishing the museum and finishing the production and post-production of the Demon House movie. So like a lot of things kept getting delayed and everything because he refuses to take a vacation and stop juggling everything all at once.
He's probably ADD too, or ADHD, so he has to always be productive and doing stuff.
I wouldn't doubt it, because yeah, he's just all over the place all the time. He bought a second property here.
I know you mentioned to me, you just haven't told me. Well, we're not gonna do it on live stream. Maybe when I hang out with you, you'll let me know then. But
oh yeah, I'll show you what it is that he bought. Because I don't even know why he bought it. And
Zach.
Just for everybody to know, Zach hasn't disclosed this second location that he had purchased here in Vegas, but I know about it because he personally asked my opinion on that building, because I live in this area. I live in a neighborhood very close to all of this and everything. So I know the building that he had purchased.
Yeah.
And I told him back then, I was like, don't waste your money. Do not waste your money. That place is so decrepit. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's probably just, if it is haunted at all, it's probably just haunted by people who died from drug overdoses there. Like, seriously, it's not worth it.
And then he goes, he buys it. He's like, that's listen to you. I said, let me buy it anyway. Let me not listen to Sarah. Let me just do what I want to do.
Yeah. Oh, now he's apparently this is completely unofficial for those that are watching. It's completely unofficial. We always talk unsure. Yeah, he's unsure whether or not to keep the building or to sell it, because it's a decrepit building. I don't know why he was so possessed to just buy this building. And I'm just like, it is awful. You wasted your money. And now he's realizing he wasted his money, and now he doesn't know what he wants to do with it. He might keep it, he might sell it, he might demolish it and then sell the lot.
Demon house.
Yeah, I don't
that too. So I was like, okay.
I have no clue, but I just
maybe it could be maybe something drew him to buying it, because sometimes you don't just buy something because you just see it. Maybe there's a connection for him there. I don't know.
He likes to think so. He likes to think so.
It could be. I mean, usually you get connected to something, and something pulls you to wanting to get it.
It's a very old lot. From my understanding of it, I say probably less than a couple of years after I moved into this neighborhood, when I was a young kid.
You're still young.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
When we first moved into this neighborhood, I do know for pretty much a fact, I might have to double check with my mom on this, but I do know that building kept trying to get reopened, and it kept closing and then reopen and closing. And from my understanding, it's been abandoned for quite some time. And so like I knew some neighborhood kids that would try to break into it, and I just had no interest, because first off, it looks like Splinter Central. Like, if you touched anything, you're bound to get a splinter.
No, I hate splinters already.
It's terrible. And not only that, it's like it also looks like if you slammed a door too hard, that section's just
whole door would like collapse.
Like, yeah, it's just,
I know what you're saying.
Terrible, and it always has, and not much has changed. And yeah, so I don't know why he bought that, but he did.
Exactly. I know we're gonna wrap it up, but I want you to join me on my other live stream. My next one. Any final thoughts? I know we could talk for a while more. I know that. So anything you want to share with the audience, or I don't even know who's watching. I try not to sometimes read people's comments, because if it's like negative, it's like I'll deal with them later.
My only thing to say is, like what you were saying earlier, walk with mirrors, look at yourself, really, really be critical of yourself, in the sense of, looking at yourself from an outside perspective. Would you be friends with yourself? Would you, Dallas.
No worries.
My dog, she barks at everything.
She's probably hearing my voice and started barking.
No, I think the mailman came and dropped a package off. My mom's always ordering stuff. But yeah, to just really think about, like, would you be friends with yourself? And would you be friends with yourself in a way that, like, you would trust yourself? You would confide in yourself as a friend, as somebody that would be really close to you. Because if you couldn't confide in yourself, why should others confide in you? And it's like, and it's not a bad thing to have that with other people. Yeah. But if you don't want people to come to you in that sense of, like people spilling their secrets out to you, just be honest. Just be like, I'm not the person for you to talk to when it comes to this. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at these sort of things, you know, or especially if it's a secret or something. Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with those around you, and be honest in a way that's not in a cruel manner. You know, like, I don't do secrets. Don't talk to me. You know, there's a difference between doing that and doing, I'm not very good with secrets. I'm not a person to really confide in when it comes to that. Um, I think I know somebody who you could talk to about that, though. There's two way different ways of doing it. And it's just about watching yourself and being self-critical in the sense of just being a better version of yourself each and every day.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have you join my other session. So I know I'm trying to do 2 different parts. So I'm doing like one stream and then I'm trying to make a whole new set for another stream. I know that.
I need a potty break though.
Yes. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining me. You got all of you guys who are interested in wanting to know her channel is YinYangSara at. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, it's YouTube/C/YinYangSara, all one word. And you can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter,
Patreon.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. Patreon. I just started.
Yeah, I had to be your assistant.
It's a ghost town right now. So please help me out with Patreon.
Oh, I want to help you too. So don't feel bad.
Don't you dare, Manny. I won't.
Oh, come on. All right. Thank you guys for joining me on the live stream. Thank you for sharing comments and anyway, thank you guys for everything. And I'll see you soon, Sarah. Do you want me to end this live stream and then call you back? Well, okay, do what you need to do, and I'll start setting up with her, and I'll send you the link to the other one.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Sarah. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Manny.
All right. No problem. Bye, guys.
Bye.